Today we'll discuss about a new concept that is on heterophily and homophily and its influence on flow of innovation. This homophily and heterophily, these are the concepts related with the communication source and how these two sources influence on the dissemination of innovations or flow of innovations. We will discuss those things here. Understanding of the nature of communication flows through interpersonal networks is enhanced by concept of homophily and heterophily. Means when there is an interaction between two persons, interpersonal networks between two persons or with number of persons, then that will enhance if we know the concept of homophily and heterophily. What type of sources it is, from which sources we are interacting. Based on that, we can determine the flow of information received by the receiver. The structure of who relays message to whom is brought out in such network analysis. That means the efficiency of the source, that is not important, but whom they rely, the receiver, who relies to whom, that is important. That means the source should be reliable for the receiver. And in under what situation a source is reliable, when we will discuss about homophily and heterophily, we can identify these things, whom they are more interacting and for what purpose. A fundamental principle of human communication is that the exchange of ideas occurs most frequently between individuals who are alike or homophilous. Generally, this is a fundamental principle, that basic principle of any human communication. When we are interacting with two or more persons, then generally we interact to those persons who are alike. That means similar with me, maybe in dress, maybe in attitude, maybe on beliefs, like that. In some aspect, both are same. In that situation, we frequently interact with those sources, and this is called the homophilous source, when the sources are alike. Then what is homophily? Homophily is the degree to which a pair of individuals who communicate are similar. That means when interpersonal communication takes place between two persons, then if these two persons are alike, then whatever communication made between these two persons, that is from homophilous source. That is the homophily, similar. And this similarity, I have already mentioned, that may be from different point of view. It may be from education, it may be from beliefs, attitudes, socioeconomic status, like that. And it is not that from every angle there should be alike or similar situation. It may be because of your physical appearance, it may be because of your culture, it may be because of your beliefs, attitudes, all these type of things. If something is alike, and then they will interact with those persons on that areas or feel more homophily, alike. And in that situation, they convince those messages more easily in homophilous condition. Homophily, the term was given by Lazarsfeld and Martin in 1964, the situation of homophily. But the general idea of homophilous behavior was noted a century ago by the French sociologist Gabriel Frey. What is the defined dimension of homophily? That means under what situation it may be considered as homophily. When similarity in case of physical characteristics such as generalized appearance, looks, size, clothing, like that, then also there may be a homophilous condition. But if judgment is based solely on appearance, may lead to cultural stereotyping. And when it is on appearance, clothing, all these type of things, here we have some sort of cultural influence, and because of that it may be stereotyping in respect to culture or a similar culture, or it depict the culture like that. That means from same culture, more chances of physical homophily. Background homophily here, similarity in age, education, residence, and other demographic features. If there is something similar in case of age, education, residence, and other demographic features, then there may be more possibilities for background homophily. And when our attitude and opinions are alike, then there may be chance for attitude homophily. In case of value homophily, when our value system is similar or alike, morality, sexual norms, way of treating people, and other general values, when our values are similar and generally in the same culture values are similar, so in that situation it is called as value homophily. Personality homophily, here the perception of similarity or dissimilarity of personality. That means introvert, extrovert, optimistic, pessimistic, humorous, serious, like that. Who are serious person, they will interact with those serious person, not with a humorous person. Pessimistic people generally talk with pessimistic people, not optimistic people. Or optimistic people, they avoid to interact with pessimistic people. All these things. An introvert, he hardly interact with others. So an extrovert, he may not interested to interact with that type of people. And when extrovert communication, this is personal homophily. Then heterophily. Heterophily is the degree to which a pair of individuals who interact are different in certain attributes. In homophily, it was similar, but in heterophily, it is different in some attributes, not alike, but different. And when the communication takes place between these two individuals having some differences in attributes, then it is called as heterophily. Heterophilous communication between dissimilar individuals may cause cognitive dissonance because an individual is exposed to messages that are inconsistent with existing beliefs and uncomfortable psychological state. This cognitive dissonance means when there is a differences in these two individuals, then when they interact, the level of knowledge of information, these are different for these two persons because they are different in some characteristics. And when they are similar, so in that situation, they have same type of information. But here, since they are different, so they have more information with one group and less information with another. And in that situation, when they interact, then they received some new information. And when they receive the new information, then what happened? Some sort of cognitive dissonance will occur. Why it is happening, how I will get more information on this, all these type of things. What is my present technology? Is it good or bad? Considering the new information. So some type of cognitive dissonance occur. And this dissonance, this is a psychological state, and it feels some sort of uncomfortable position. That when he received the new information, he want to get more and more information. So psychologically, he is in a uncomfortable situation. Heterophilous communication has a special informational potential, even though it may occur only rarely. Generally, what happens since heterophilous situation, the sources are of different type. They have some sort of differences, and one source, they know more information than the other source. So in case of information potentiality, there is some sort of your differences, and that differences make them heterophilous communication as special informational potential. But those sources, they have not that type of information. They're not full information, but some sort of information which is new to the receivers. So this is not in perfect condition. That is, one source provide all the information and another source, he will accept the information, and there is no chance for cognitive dissonance. This is the actual situation, rare, but that situation is very rare. That means though there is a differences in information, but those informations are not sufficient for the receiver to settle the cognitive dissonance part. Heterophilus networks links often connect to cliques, thus spanning two sets of socially dissimilar individuals in a system. Within a system, there may be some people have one type of beliefs, one type of attitude like that, but that attitude or beliefs is different with other members of the society. And then those similar people, they will interact among themselves. And this is clique, this is not group. And when the heterophilous situation, what happens generally between the cliques, it is happening because both the groups are dissimilar in some sort of psychological attributes or other things. So two cliques or three cliques are developed. So these cliques are different from each other, and when they interact within a social system, then it is more possible that interaction will occur because they are from the same social system. And most of the cases in heterophilous network, when it is occurred in a particular social system, the interaction is mainly occurred between cliques within the social system. So within the social system, they are similar. Because of that, overall they will not also provide much information to settle cognitive dissonance. On particular issue only, they are different, and because of that, in heterophilous network also, it is not possible to provide all the information to the receiver at the first instance. The heterophilous interpersonal links in a system called as bridge are especially important in conveying information about innovation. That we know that a homophilous situation, it will create cognitive dissonance, but heterophilous source, it will not. In homophilous, there is a cognitive dissonance, and when there is a heterophilous source, they are able to provide some information to the receiver, and so this heterophilous situation is the bridge between the communication, interpersonal communication between two persons, because with this help of heterophilous source, we can provide the information to the other group. So only heterophilous source can provide the information, new information, not the homophilous group. Homophily accelerates the diffusion process but limits the spread of an innovation to those individuals connected in a close-knit network. When someone receives a new information or innovation, it will quickly disseminate, but this dissemination is localized or founded only in the closed network. That means with the homophilous group only, who are similar in nature only to those persons. Quickly they will disseminate the information. So though homophilous situation, it transfer the message quickly, but it is restricted within the close-knit network. Ultimately, the diffusion process can occur only through communication links that are at least somewhat heterophilous. Means if there is no heterophily, then new information will not communicate. So to provide information to all the people to act on that, the source should have some more information with them, and that make this source heterophilous, and that some sort of heterophilous situation is important for dissemination of new information. When the source provides some information to the other groups, this is new for them, and that is after receiving of the information, that group develops cognitive dissonance, and when there is a cognitive dissonance, to settle down these things, they will search more and more information, and ultimately the information or innovation will receive. And because of that, to provide any information, some sort of heterophilous condition is required, because in the homophily position, it is not possible for the people to receive any new information. Homophily is a barrier to diffusion, because diffusion is a communication, and when the communication takes place between the homophilous group, then they will not get any new information. Ultimately, it will not possible to make any diffusion process. It is an invisible barrier. New ideas usually enter a system through higher status and more innovative members, and this is the heterogeneous. Higher status is lower status, that is heterogeneous. Some are more innovative person. They receive the things earlier. They are in cosmopolite in nature also. So some sort of cosmopoliteness is also required. A high degree of homophily would mean that these elite individuals interact mainly with one another, and thus the innovation would not trickle down to non-elites. So that means they will receive the information from the same homophilous group, and between the members of the society, it is not possible to receive those things. So it will not spread to the entire societies, and because of that, the diffusion is an invisible barrier. The society which are more localized, these are not progressive because of this type of things. Homophilous diffusion patterns cause new ideas to spread horizontally rather than vertically within a system. Horizontally means within the same character, same type of group, it is spread. But when it is come to the vertical dissemination, that means they have to enter into the another group or another type of stratum, and that vertical communication is not takes place in homophilous situation, because they mostly concerned with their own situation, with the similar pattern. And because of that, when vertical communication will not occur, then the diffusion process that will also slow down. If homophily is a barrier to diffusion, science agents should work with several different sets of opinion leaders in a system. Since homophily is a barrier for diffusion, and in the society we have defined numbers of opinion leaders for each type of characteristics. They follow one type of leader. So we have to depend on numbers of opinion leaders instead of only one. Then only we can disseminate the information for diffusion of the innovation. If we depend only with one leader, then he will concentrate these things concentrate these things to those who are similar or alike with him or her, and the entire innovation is restricted only to this group only. And because of that, the sense agent, he is also a heterophilus source. He should identify more numbers of opinion leaders so that it can represent the entire society. This is all about homophily and heterophily. Thank you very much.